Oh, Cal. Save her a few of them little cakes. Cal. Run home and you look in my desk in the left hand. Oh, my. Abby, what a good supper. Just as good as can be. You look so pretty this evening, Miss Birdie. And young. Young. Oh. Okay, maybe you better find Simon. Ask him to do it himself. He's to look in my desk in the left-hand drawer and bring my music album here right away. Oh, that Mr. Marshall. He's very anxious to see it because his father, the opera in Chicago, oh, he is such a polite man. Such manners. Oh, he's so educated and cultured. I told him all about how Mom and Papa used to go to Europe for the music. Imagine going all the way to Europe just to listen to music. Wouldn't that be nice? I could just sit and listen. Oh, Cal, tell him the left-hand drawer. You better say it twice because he forgets things. And tell him, be sure not to let any of the things fall out of the album, to bring it right back in here when he gets back.
Yes, but Simon, he won't get it right, but I'll tell him.
Tell him the left-hand drawer, and oh, I was just sending Simon for my music album.
Never mind about the album. Miss Birdie's changed her mind.
Oh, but Oscar, I
Why did the dinner
Mr.
table
Marshall.
run out like a child?
But Oscar, Mr. Marshall said most especially he wanted to see my album. I told him about how Mama met Wagner. And Mrs. Wagner gave her the signed program and the big picture, and he wants to see that. Very, very much. We had such a nice talk at supper.
You've been chattering to like a magpie. You haven't let him be for a second. I can't think he came south to be bored with you.
He wasn't bored. I don't believe he was bored. He was an educated, cultured gentleman. I don't believe that. You always
You
talk like that
too much pride now.
I
Get yourself in hand.
What am I doing? I'm not doing anything. What am I doing?
No, I said get yourself in hand. Stop acting like a fool.
They're coming in now.
Well, I don't believe he was bored. Some people like music and they like to talk about it. That's all that I was doing.
Sit down, Birdie, sit down.
Chicago may be the noisiest, dirtiest city in the world, but I should still prefer it to the sound of our horses and the smell of our cider. Oh, I should love the crowds of people, the theater, the lovely women. Very lovely women, Mr. Marshall.
In Chicago? Well, I suppose so, but I can tell you this, I have never dined there with three such lovely ladies. Our southern women are well favored.
But one must go to Mobile for the ladies, sir. Very elegant, worldly ladies, too.
Worldly, huh? Worldly, did you
Your Uncle
say?
Ben means that worldliness is not a mark of beauty anymore.
Of course. Uncle Ben, I wasn't saying that was it.
Your point is excellent, Mrs. Giddens.
Why, thank you, Mr. Marshall. We have been saving that bottle, hoping we could open it just for you.
May I really?
Better ask your mama.
May I, Mama?
In Mr. Marshall's honor.
Mr. Marshall, this will be the first taste of port I've ever had.
No one ever had their first taste of a better port. Well, I suppose it is all true, Mrs. Giddens.
What is true?
And you Southerners occupy a unique position in America. You live better than the rest of us. You eat better, you drink better. I wonder you find time, or want to find time, to do business.
A great many Southerners don't.
Do all of you live here together?
Here with me? Oh, no. My brother Ben lives next door, and my brother Oscar and his family live in the next square.
But we are a very close family, and we've always wanted it that way.
That is very pleasant. Keeping your family together to share each other's lives. My family moves around too much. My children seem never to come home. Away at school in the winter, in the summer, Europe with their mother.
Oh, yes, even down here. We read about Mrs. Marshall and the society pages.
I dare say she moves about a great deal. And all of you are part of the same business, Hubbard Sons.
So our Oscar and me, my sister's good husband, is a banker.
Oh,
I'm so sorry he isn't here to meet you. He's been very ill. He's at Johns Hopkins, but he will be home soon now. We think he's getting better.
I work for Uncle Horace. I work for Uncle Horace at his bank. I keep an eye on things while he's away.
Really,
The
Leo?
modesty in the young is as excellent as it is rare.
Your uncle means that a young man should speak more modestly.
Oh, Mrs. Hubbard, where's that Wagner autograph you promised to let me see? My train will be leaving soon.
Oh, the autograph. Really, I didn't mean to chatter so about it. Please excuse me. I didn't get it because I had a little headache.
My wife's a miserable victim of headaches.
Mr. Marshall said at supper he'd like you to play for him, Alexandra.
It's not I who play well, sir, it's my aunt. She plays just wonderfully. She's my teacher. May we play a duet? May we, Mama?
Oh, yes.
Thank you, dear, but I have my headache.
Don't be stubborn, Bertie. Mr. Marshall wants you to play.
Oh, indeed I do. If your headache isn't...
Oh, but I should like to, sir, very much.
It's very remarkable how you Southern aristocrats have kept together. And kept what belonged to you.
You misunderstand, sir. Southern aristocrats have not kept together and have not kept what belongs to them.
You don't call this keeping what belonged to you.
We are aristocrats. Our brother's wife is only one of us who belongs to the Southern aristocracy.
My information is that you people have been here and solidly here for a long time.
And so we have, since our great-grandfather.
Who was not an aristocrat like Bertie.
You make great distinctions.
They have been made for us, and maybe they are important distinctions. Now, you take Bertie's family, for example. When my great-grandfather came here, they were the highest-toned plantation owners in this state.
My mother's grandfather was governor of the state before the war.
They owned the plantation lionette. Like you may have heard of it, sir.
No, but I've never heard of anything except brick houses on the lake and cotton mills.
Lionette in its day was the best cotton land in the South. Still brings us in a fair crop. They were great days for those people. Even when I can remember, they had the best of everything. Cloth from Paris, trips to Europe, horses you can't raise anymore, neighbors lift their fingers.
But we were good to our people. Everybody do that. We were better to them than any of the other
Why, Bertie, you aren't playing.
But when the war comes, these fine gentlemen ride off and leave the cotton and the women to rot.
My father was killed in the war, Mr. Marshall. He was a fine soldier and a fine gentleman.
Why, certainly, Bertie. A famous soldier.
But that isn't the tale I'm telling Mr. Marshall. Well, sir, the war ends, Lionette is almost ruined, and the son's family's ruining it, and there are thousands like them. Why? Because the Southern aristocrat can adapt himself to nothing. Too high-toned to try.
Sometimes it is difficult to learn new ways.
Perhaps. Perhaps. You're right, Mr. Marshall. It is difficult to learn a new way. But maybe that's why it's profitable. Our grandfather and our father learned a new way. Learned how to make them pay. They worked. They were a trade. Other sons merchandise. Father's Bertie's family, for example, looked down on them. Well, make a long story short, Lionette now belongs to us, huh? 20 years ago, we took over their land, their cotton, and their daughter.
Well, Mrs. Hubbard, may I bring you a glass of port?
No, thank you, sir. You are most polite.
Then, you are boring, Mr. Marshall, with these ancient family
I
tales.
hope not. I'm trying to make an important point for future business partners.
My brother always says it's folks like us who have struggled and fought to bring to our land some of the prosperity of your land.
Some people call that patriotism.
I hope you don't find my brothers too obvious, Mr. Marshall. I'm afraid what they're trying to say is it's time for the ladies to leave the gentlemen to talk business.
Not at all. We settled everything this afternoon. I have only a few minutes before I must leave for my train, and I insist they be spent with you.
And another glass of port.
Thank you.
My sister's right. I'm a plain man. I'm trying to say a plain thing. A man ain't only in business for what he can get out of it. You gotta give him something here. That's every bit as true for the nigga pick cotton for a silver quarter as it is for you and me. Don't give him something here, then he don't pick the cotton right. Money and all, not about 3 shots.
Really? Well, I always thought it was a great deal.
And so did I, Mr. Marshall.
Now, you don't have to convince me that you are the right people for the deal. I wouldn't be here if you hadn't convinced me of that 6 months ago. You want the mill here, and I want it here. It isn't my business to find out why you want it.
To bring the machine to the cotton, not the cotton to the machine.
You have a turn for neat phrases, Hubbard. Well, however grand your reasons are, mine are simple. I want to make money, and I believe I'll make it on you. Remind you, I have no objections to more high-minded reasons. They are mighty valuable in business. It's fine to have partners who so closely follow the teachings of Christ. And now I must leave for my train.
Oh, I'm so sorry you can't stay over with us, Mr. Marshall. But you will come again anytime.
Fill 'em up, boy, fill 'em up. Down here, sir, we have a strange custom. We drink the last drink for a toast. That proves Southern's still always on his feet for the last drink. It was Henry Frick. You're Mr. Henry Frick, who said railroads are the Rembrandts of investments. Well, son, I say Southern cotton mills will be the Rembrandts of investment, so I'll give you the verb of Hubbard, Son, and Marshall. Cotton mills, and to it, and long and prosperous life, huh?
The children will drive you to the depot. Leo, Alexander, you will drive Mr. Marshall down.
Yep. It's not open, Uncle Ben lets me drive his horses. A beautiful pair they are, too, sir.
May I drive tonight, Uncle Ben? I'd like to.
In your evening clothes? No, my dear.
Come on, Sam.
But Leo,
Oh, there.
I hate to say goodbye to you, Mr. Marshall.
And we won't say goodbye. You promised that you'd come and let me show you Chicago. Do I have to make you promise again?
I promise again.
Goodbye, Mrs. Hubbard.
Goodbye, sir.
Remember.
I will.
We'll see you to the carriage.
Oh, and there, Bertie, goes the man who has opened the door to our future.
What?
Our future. Yours and mine, Ben and Oscar's, the children. Our future. Oh. Oh, you were so charming at supper night, Buddy. Mr. Marshall certainly thought so.
Gina, do you think he did?
Well, can't you tell when you're being admired?
Well, Oscar said that I bored Mr. Marshall.
Oh.
Oh, he admired you. He told me so.
What did he say?
Well, he said to me, he said, I hope your sister-in-law comes to Chicago. Chicago will be at her feet. The women will bow to her manners, and the gentlemen to her looks.
Did he? He seems a lonely man. Imagine being lonely with all that money. I don't think he likes his wife.
Not like his wife. Why wouldn't he like his wife?
Well, she's away a good deal. He said that several times. And once he made fun of her being so social and high-toned. That fits in all right. Her being social, I mean. She can introduce me. It won't take long with an introduction from her.
In Chicago? You really mean to go? Virginia, you can't leave here.
Oh,
What about Horace?
oh, don't be so scared about everybody. I'm going to live in Chicago. I've always wanted to. Now there'll be plenty of money to go with.
But Horace won't be able to move around, you know, the doctor's road.
Oh, there'll be millions for You all? Oh, I shouldn't think so. Well, we must remember tonight. It's been a very important night, and we must not forget it. We shall plan all the things we'd like to have, then we really will have them. Make a wish, buddy. Any wish. It's bound to come true now.
I don't know. Well, maybe, well, I guess I would know.
Let's have a happy weekend, huh?
That's not it. Don't you pretend you're like the cat that's been licking the cream. Wow. Oh, now I'll have a real drink to celebrate.
The children live Alexander make a very handsome couple, Regina. Marshall remarked himself what fine young folks they were. How well they looked together.
Yes, you've said that several times before, Oscar.
Yes, sir. It looks like the deal is all set now. I may not be a subtle man, but somebody asked me how I know the deal's all set.
What do you mean, Dan?
Remember when I told them, down here, we drink the last drink for toast?
Yes, never heard that before.
Nobody's ever heard it before. God forgives those who invent what they need. I already had a signature, but we've all done business with men whose word over glass is better than a bond. Anyway, it don't hurt to have both.
You understand what that means?
Oh, I understand. I understood immediately.
Did you, Regina? Well, when he lifted his glass of drink, I closed my eyes. I saw the bricks going into place.
I saw a lot more than that.
Slowly, as yet we have only our hopes.
Bertie and I have been planning what we want. I know what I want. What would you want,
And
Dad?
of course, you don't count the chicken. God would allow us a little daydreaming. Come on. It's good for the soul when you work hard enough to deserve it. I think I'll have a steak. For a
Oh,
long time, I've had my good eyes on Carter's in Savannah, a rich man's pleasure. The sport of kings, why not the sport of the hosts? Oh, why not?
why not? And what do you have, Oscar?
Oh, I don't know. The pleasure of seeing the bricks grow will be enough for me.
Of course, our greatest pleasure will be to see the bricks grow, but we're all entitled to a little side indulgence. Come on, Bob.
Yeah, that's bull. Well, then I suppose we might take a few trips here and have. Hey, Bertie,
Yes, I'd like
we
to.
might make a regular trip to Jekyll Island. I hear the Cornelli place for sale. Might think about buying it. Make a nice change. To do you good, Bertie. Change the climate. Find shooting on Jekyll.
I would like,
Why? What would you like?
well, two things. Two things I would like
Two?
more.
Oh, I should like 1,000. My, you are modest, Bertie.
But I should like to have lying at that. I know you own it now, but I'd like to see it fixed the way Mama and Papa had it. Every year got a nice coat of paint. Papa was very particular about the paint, and the lawns so smooth all the way down to the river. And the trims of the zinnia and the red feather plush and figs and little blue plums and scuppernongs. The organ is still there. Wouldn't cost much to fix. We could have parties for Zan where Mom used that for me.
That's a pretty picture, Bertie. Might be the most pleasant way to live. Now, what do you want, Regina? Huh?
Just
What do
one
you want?
and oh, I do believe we could be happier there. Papa used to say, nobody ever lost their temper at lying there. And nobody ever would. Papa wouldn't let anybody be nasty spoken or mean, no sir. Papa wouldn't stand for that.